Alright guys, welcome back to the Motorsport Manager 2018 McLaren Career Mode. This is episode 3 and we've just came off the first race of the season in Australia and somehow we managed to bring Stoffel van Dorn's McLaren home in 5th place. Didn't have much pace the entire weekend, had terrible qualifying position I think for Stoffel van Dorn. I believe he qualified 17th. It really wasn't good. But unfortunately, one bad situation for us turned another into a good situation. Fernando Alonso retiring brought out the safety car, and that meant Stoffel van Dorn, who was one stopping on the medium compound tyre, managed to catch up to the back of the grid. And from then on, it was a pretty solid race for Stoffel. He managed to hold position, and he brought the car home in 5th place. So absolutely delighted, couldn't ask for much more. Vettel won the race, both the Mercedes drivers came in 2nd and 3rd, Raikkonen in 4th, we were 5th obviously, the Red Bulls behind us, Ocon in 8th, Lance Stroll surprisingly in 9th, and Charles Leclerc in the Sauber in 10th. So, first race of the season we picked up a 5th place. Funny thing is, we might struggle to match that. That could be our best result of the season, no joke. I'm hoping not, but you've got to be realistic. It's going to be very hard for us to come by points finishes, especially with this McLaren not being that good. The game is on the highest difficulty. We've got to be realistic, but so far so good. And apart from obviously the Alonso retirement was a bit disappointing, but I mean, if it managed to get his 10 points on the board, so we really can't dwell on it that much. So you see Alonso 20th in the World Championship, Van Dorn in 5th. So Van Dorn's beating him in terms of the ranking in the Championship and in points obviously as well. Season form is still the same, I'm not sure why. Podiums is 0-0. Out qualifying, so Alonso's out qualified Stoffel van Dorn, but Van Dorn has outraced Alonso, and you can see Van Dorn is ahead in the total 3-7, but like I said, it's only one race, very early days, we're not going to worry about that too much. Alright guys, and before we head into the practice and qualifying session for the Dubai Grand Prix, we've just designed a new engine, and this is a kind of a double boost for Stoffel van Dorn. Not only has he outperformed Alonso in the race in the opening round of the season, he's also going to be given the new upgrade, because they gave Alonso the first upgrade of the season, and it's only fair that I switch the drivers around. If perhaps into the season one driver is outperforming the other massively, then maybe I will, tend to lean towards that one particular driver with all the upgrades, but for now I'm just going to give them, I'm going to alternate the upgrades. So Alonso got the last one, Stoffel van Dorn gets this one, which is only 45% reliability. Hopefully it sees through the race. I think it should. It looks not bad to be honest, so average engine as well. And so it'll be interesting to see how this gets on. And these guys should have a pretty decent car for Dubai, or at least better than it was in Melbourne. So that's it guys, we're going to go into practice now, see where we come, then obviously all important qualifying, try and get a good grid position for the race. Alright, just completed practice, and we got ourselves pretty good there. You can see 4th on the standings, albeit yes, we were on the super soft tyre, we did turn the engines up, we were on the attack. I wanted to set a really good lap time, and I think we did that with Alonso. 4 tenths off the leading Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas, but we know that 4th is probably not a true position. You'd both Red Bulls behind us. You'd Raikkonen there down in 13th, who appears to have just been out on the medium. So, I mean, I don't really think 4th place is where we are at the moment. Stoffel van Dorn only in 9th. And maybe 9th, that's more realistic for us to achieve in qualifying. But I'm hoping that we can get both cars out of Q1 this time around. I know Stoffel van Dorn was a casualty in Australia. I'm hoping in Dubai that we can fix the wrongs there and hopefully get him in to Q2. Anyway guys, there you go. 4th and 9th. Decent. And I would love more of the same in qualifying, but I'm realistic. And I'm just hoping we get both cars out of Q1. Alright guys, we've got just under 2 minutes of Q1 remaining. Or just over 2 minutes should I say. Fernando Alonso currently in a good position, looking like he is going to get through to the next round. We're going to send him out on a set of super softs, but Stoffel Van Dorn struggling big time, down in 19th place. It's not looking good, and it looks like Stoffel Van Dorn for the second qualifying session in a row could be knocked out in Q1. I was fearing this, to be honest, heading into the session, but I'm hoping that we can do something about it. Alonso 9 tenths off of Verstappen's time, but for Van Dorn a lot more than 1.7 off. So Van Dorn almost double. He's almost like double the amount of time Alonso's off. So he really needs to do something here to get himself out of this qualifying session. He needs to find 3 tenths, and 3 tenths would get him. Actually, no, 3 tenths would get him in front of Stroll. It's not going to get him through. He needs to find about 6 tenths, which is a shitload of time. And Gasly there's just improved, so Van Dorn needs a good lap here. He's battling with he's battling with a car that is not smart. Alright, 3 tenths down after sector 1. Can he get through? It looks like Alonso's going to be fine. Van Dorn, though, appears to be on a better lap here. Only 3 tenths off. 6 tenths, 6 and 666. The devil is here in Motorsport Manager. Surely, unless Van Dorn fucks up here, he will get through here. It's looking like it, unless he loses about 6 tenths in the last session. And he's done. Is he? No! He hasn't. Van Dorn just beat there by less than a third of a tenth. Hartley managing to sneak through in 15th place, and Stoffel Van Dorn once again has been eliminated in Q1. And look at that, Sirotkin there somehow managed to get his Williams up into 11th place. No idea how that happened. Absolutely not got a bloody clue. But more bad news here for McLaren and for Stoffel Van Dorn, and he's been knocked out of qualifying 1. Although the only positive we can look at is that he was knocked out of qualifying 1 in Australia and ended up scoring 10 points in the race, so you never know. You can still do something from 16th, but the 5 drivers eliminated: Stoffel Van Dorn, Charles Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, Lance Stroll, and Marcus Ericsson. Alright guys, here we go now. Q2, 2 minutes remaining. Alonso currently in the drop zone. We're in P13th. 1 tenth though would take us into 10th place. It's very close between Hülkenberg, Perez, Sainz and ourselves. So, yes, definitely could go either way. Magnussen there doing very well in 5th place. Looks like he's comfortably through. I think everyone from Raikkonen up is going to be safe. Ocon down to us, it looks like, is the people competing for the final couple of positions in Q3, and I don't think Sirotkin or Hartley really have the pace to, try and get into the 3rd and final session. So here we go, and we're almost half a second down. That's not good. Almost half a second down after sector 1. Highly unlikely. He must have had a fucking terrible first sector. Now we're a full second down. It's not going to be good here. I can't see how Fernando's going to do this. I mean, Hamilton has went faster, but it doesn't look like Alonso's going to get this McLaren into Q3. And, oh, he has! Alonso just sneaks it in. Holy shit. Did not expect that. Alonso just getting his McLaren there in front of Carlos Sainz in the Renault. And Fernando Alonso will be joining the Mercedes, the Ferraris, the Red Bulls, the Haases, and the Force India of Ocon in the final and 3rd qualifying session. But the 5 drivers eliminated are Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, Hülkenberg, Brendan Hartley, and Sergei Sirotkin. Very surprised Fernando there actually managed to get in. And I'm hoping more. I don't think we're going to be able to do anything much here in Q3. So I'm not quite sure how we go about it. But there's no advantage at not running in Q3. Previously, before, if you didn't run, you could select whatever tyre you wanted. But now that's not the case. You have to, if you get into Q3, you have to go on whatever tyre you qualified on. So there's really no point us not doing at least one run here in this session. So that is probably what we're going to go ahead here and do. And yeah, we're going to have to, looks like, waste a set of super soft tyres. Although I think the race is a one-stopper, so it's not like we need to keep much for the race. Out we go, we're sending Fernando. Let's see, we're the second driver on the track. Vettel is the first to leave the garage. We've got half the field now out. Both Haas and both Mercedes have stayed in the pits so far. I think Hamilton's just coming out now. And I wonder why the Haas is finally coming out a minute and a half into the session. And they might struggle to get 2 runs in. They've left it very late. But we'll see. Alonso trying to get those tyre temperatures up to the maximum. Or not the maximum, should I say, the ideal temperature. Now it's Alonso starting his lap, coming around as he heads into the first sector. What is he off Vettel? He is 4 tenths off Vettel, but Ricciardo just puts in a purple sector. And Ricciardo at the moment currently fastest in this final qualifying session. And yet Ricciardo again goes faster in sector 2. So Ricciardo looking like he could be strong here for pole. Yet the Mercedes still to run. Hamilton only goes green there. And Ricciardo is about to go through, and he does. He goes 3 times faster than Vettel. And it doesn't look like anyone's going to beat that lap on this run. Verstappen manages to go third. We've got Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull, Ferrari. Hamilton slots his Mercedes into second. What about Bottas? Bottas gets it into fourth. Grosjean gets into sixth. And currently we're in front of Ocon and Magnussen, the last driver to set a lap time, goes seventh. So the Haas is at the moment very good. In 6th and 7th place. Raikkonen will be disappointed down in 8th. And it's all to play for here. Looks like Ricciardo is going to get pole if he, unless someone can, put in a belter of a lap time. But so far, so good for Danny Ricciardo. And I think all we need to do now is just wait, and then we will try and hit this perfect lap that we need. Can we move up any more? It doesn't look like it. We're exactly 5 tenths off Raikkonen, half a second. I don't think we've got that in the tank. But we may as well go through another set of super softs. Like I said, it's not going to, unless it's like raining a lot in the race or something like that. I mean, it's probably just going to be a one-stopper. So we'll send Alonso out for another run. And we'll see what happens. But at the moment, doesn't look like we're going to improve in 9th. But 9th's very good. And I'm happy enough to start there. Didn't look like we had the pace to get into Q3 to begin with. So this is the first time we've been in Q3. Albeit it's only the second race. But, we've had obviously 4 attempts. 2 qualifying sessions with 2 cars. And now Fernando starts his lap. And let's see what he can do. Maybe he's got more in the tank than I originally thought. Maybe it was just a bad first lap. But we'll find out now. Fernando Alonso comes round as he goes to put in his sector 1 time, and he is 3 times off of Ricciardo, which is kind of roughly what he was off Vettel, if you remember, on the first time around. So far, I think Alonso has improved now. He's only half a second off your Ricciardo, so this looks like it's going to be a better lap. I don't think it's going to be enough to move him up the grid, but it looks like he's definitely going to improve. Fernando Alonso, 8 tenths is a massive improvement. More than 4 tenths there. Fernando improves on his lap, but unfortunately not enough to get him further up the grid. And Verstappen at the end just sneaks up into the second row. He gets past Bottas, and that is going to do it, guys. Danny Ricciardo has got pole position here in Dubai for Red Bull Racing. And that is a great qualifying session for them. Ferrari will not be happy. Lead driver Vettel in 3rd, and Kimi Raikkonen down in 8th place, beaten by both Haas cars. So the Haas cars with the Ferrari engine beating Kimi Raikkonen in qualifying. That is, they'll be massively disappointed with that. But there you go, Danny Ricciardo, Hamilton, Vettel, Verstappen, Bottas, Grosjean, Magnussen, Raikkonen, Fernando Alonso, and Ocon. That is the order for Q3. And then obviously we have Carlos Sainz, Perez, Hulkenberg, Hartley, Sergio Sorokin, Stoffel Van Dorn, Charles Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, Lance Stroll, and last but not least, Marcus Ericsson. So, should be a very good race, man. I'm looking forward to it. We're 9th with Alonso, 16th with not Verstappen, Van Dorn. And we're probably going to put them on mixed strategies. With Alonso, we'll be looking to attack. With Van Dorn, we're probably just going to try and go as long as we can in the first stint. So, interesting perspective. It's going to be 2 completely different races, but it should be fun, and hopefully we can get at least one McLaren into the points. So check back next time, episode 4. Looking forward to the race. Cannot wait, man. Should be fun, should be exciting. And hopefully there's points at the end of it. But until next time, guys. Peace.